Welcome back, gentlemen. Our next topic is job interviews. Job interviews can be very scary experiences, even for people who have gone through the process many times. To pass the interview, candidates must present themselves well and show that in addition to being the most qualified for a certain position, they are also able to explain why. The interviewers sit across a large desk and take notes on every answer that is given. Performance in the job interview frequently determines if a candidate will get the job. Because the job interview is so important, it must be carefully prepared for, especially in very competitive fields. There are a few basic steps that anyone can take to be prepared for a job interview. Let me start with a question. What is a job interview? It is a meeting between a job applicant and a person of authority working for the company or business. The meeting occurs because the business has a job opening. People apply for a job, the company decides whom it will hire. Good interpersonal communication skills are particularly important when you are being interviewed for a job. Now let's discuss why questions are important in an interview. Questions form the basis of most job interviews. Employers ask applicants a series of questions to decide who would be the best person for the job. Moreover, job interviews provide an opportunity for applicants to ask the employer questions about the job or company. Now let's try an activity. Read the following list of questions. On the box next to each one, write if this is a question an employer might ask. Write if it is a question an applicant might ask. For example, the first question, tell me about yourself, is from the employer. The second one, is there a chance for promotion, is from the applicant. Pause the video here for a while and write down the answers on a piece of paper. Now check your answers. Now let's look at some popular questions. How would you answer the following questions in a real interview? Prepare your answers with the help of the clues given. Now let's do activity number 3. A job interview is a formal, serious meeting. Here are some do's and don'ts in a job interview. Look at the first one. Know the exact location of the interview. What would you write? Yes or no? Definitely a yes. The next one, complain about your previous boss. Is it a good move? No, for sure. So write no. This way read all the statements carefully and answer them. Let's look at a sample job interview. Imagine that you are an applicant and practice a kind of role play. So you are Ahmed here. Practice the answers until you become confident. Pause the video and go through all the answers and practice well. We are now in the last part. A real interview. Check the style, the voice modulation, and the vocabulary used here. This audio file will help you to deliver better.
Listen to Yolanda's interview with Mrs. Manning. Pay attention to Mrs. Manning's questions and Yolanda's answers.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Manning. Are you here for an interview?
Yes, Mrs. Manning. My name is Yolanda Soul. I'm here to interview for the part-time bookkeeper position you advertised in the newspaper.
It's nice to meet you, Miss Soul. Please have a seat. Did you have any trouble finding the office?
No trouble at all. I left early to beat the traffic, and my car's GPS directed me perfectly.
I'm happy to hear that. So, Miss Soul, please tell me a little about yourself.
Well, I'm originally from Mexico and moved here 3 years ago. I'm majoring in math at the university and hope to become an accountant.
That's good. Why do you feel you are qualified for this job?
Well, I'm very good with numbers. I earned A's in algebra, calculus, and statistics. I'm very careful when I do math calculations, and I pay close attention to details. Oh, and of course, I have excellent computer skills.
What languages do you speak?
I speak Spanish, Portuguese, and English. My father is Mexican and my mother is Brazilian. I would be able to communicate with many of your customers who don't speak English.
You have an interesting background. Let me ask you, Miss Soul, what do you consider to be your greatest strength?
I firmly believe in the saying, "A stitch in time saves 9." I don't like to procrastinate. When something must be done, I do it right away. I don't wait until a little problem becomes a big one that is much harder to fix.
Thank you. And what do you consider to be your weaknesses?
Actually, I can think of 2. I'm a little shy and nervous about speaking in public. I'm currently taking a speech class to help with that. Also, I'm maybe too much of a perfectionist. I get impatient with people who make mistakes. I'm working on being more flexible and patient with others.
That sounds like an honest answer. Tell me, why do you want to work for us?
As I mentioned, I hope to become an accountant. Working as your bookkeeper would be very interesting and motivating for me. It would give me excellent experience to help me when I study accounting.
Well, Miss Soul, I have all the information I need. Do you have any questions?
Yes, Mrs. Manning, I have 2. The newspaper said the job was part-time in the afternoons. Is it 5 days a week?
No, Miss Soul. It's 3 afternoons a week from 1 to 5 p.m. Is that a problem?
No, that's perfect. I can schedule my classes in the morning. I also wonder, when can I expect your decision about the job?
Well, Miss Soul, you seem very mature and responsible. You won't be like some workers who wait for the cat to be away so the mice can play. I see I can trust you to work with minimal supervision. Congratulations. The job is yours. Please be here Monday at 1 p.m.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Manning. It was very nice meeting you. I'll see you on Monday.